And so they have 2 PhDs. All I have is my master's. Let's see, are they going to out-science Coach Greg? Coach Greg, and in today's video, adding more cardio won't make you leaner. Well, that's the title of Mike Israetel and his newest amigo, Dr. Eric Drexler. And so we got now 2 PhDs, and guess what? This guy is actually a pro bodybuilder. He's a coach and metabolism researcher at Duke University. And so we got a lot of brains, gonna do a lot of yapping. And so let me first address the title. Adding more cardio won't make you leaner. Well, obviously not. If you add in an hour of cardio and you add in 7,000 calories, it's not gonna make you leaner. But to the average person like you, me, Mike Israetel, and this Dr. Eric Drexler, if they add in more cardio, of course it's going to make them leaner. How could it not? I mean, it's not like Dr. Eric Drexler is sitting there at a svelte 150 pounds shredded. And so if you have extra body fat and you want to lose weight, adding in more cardio will help you lose weight. And so they have 2 PhDs. All I have is my master's. Let's see, are they going to out-science Coach Greg? Greg is going to have yet another field day with this one. The people are learning clearly. They see a title like this and they start reading between the lines. If you're going to sit there and tell us that doing more cardio isn't good, that it's not going to work, people, they see right through it. And this time, he may actually be right. What do you mean, may actually be right? Well, let's be honest. Greg knows much better how to be crispy, shredded, and peeled than Mike, and he showed it multiple times on stage. Now remember, just because I'm more shredded than Mike doesn't mean that I know more about how to get shredded than Mike. I'm keeping it real, but I do know a shit ton about cardio, and I have real-world experience, and I can guarantee you this. Doing more cardio is going to help you to lose weight more than it's going to hurt you. And so if we took 1 billion people on this planet and said, you guys added a bunch of cardio, most of them are going to lose weight, and not just weight, body fat. And so you might have a guy like Larry Wheels' coach saying, hey, if you do a bunch of cardio, all it's going to do is tear down your muscle. Heaven forbid, if you ever average 18,000 steps a day, you'd probably lose at least 5 pounds of pure hard-earned muscle every 2 weeks. But the truth of the matter is, you're not. Doing cardio is good, help for longevity. It's going to help you to lose weight. You can eat more calories. And so very, very smart to add in more cardio into your routine. Where is Mike wrong here? Well, apparently the part about doing more cardio not helping you to get leaner. Doing more cardio with certainty can help you to get leaner. Think of it. When you're doing cardio, what are you doing? You're burning fat, you're burning carbs. And the more cardio you do, the more fat you're burning and the less carbs that you're burning. And so by definition, if you're doing cardio, especially if you're doing more cardio than last time, you're going to be burning more fat. And to get leaner, what do? You have to burn off body fat. And so how can it be possible that doing more cardio is not going to help you to get leaner? If you keep dissing cardio and fail to get lean for your competition, time after time, maybe your knowledge isn't that great. And so in the real world, I do a lot of cardio. I preach doing a lot of cardio. I tell my clients, it's written in my book, how important it is to do cardio. How much easier your life will be if only you could add in more cardio. But yet time and time again, I have to fight this uphill battle to try and convince the world that I'm right. And so let's listen to this guy's comment. You mean the drama queen? This is me. I'm the drama queen. That doesn't have an actual educational background. I only have a master's in kinesiology. I guess that doesn't count as an educational background. His sole job is to constantly call other people out. I have over 3,500 videos, and I'm pretty certain that more than half of them don't call other people out. And so now that we've read the comments, let's get into the video. What exactly are they going to say? Are Mike and Eric Drexler going to sit there and tell people to not do cardio? Or is this just clickbait? Let's get right into it.
Exercise is an incredible thing. It's one of the best things you can do for your body, right?
I have to agree. So far, we're off to a great start.
If you want to maintain proper health, both physical and mental, exercising is a good thing.
Huge new research on the mental benefits all the time.
Not just for the physical, but for the mental as well. And so anyone trying to get leaner, not only does it help you physically, but also mentally. It's 2 great points for cardio.
Also, exercise in some cases can actually help you regulate your appetite better.
Yes.
And so what you thought they were going to say, of which I even thought it, was they're going to say, oh, but when you exercise, you just regain all that weight because it makes you hungrier. They both literally agree, and they both got PhDs, that exercise helps to regulate your appetite. And what do I mean by that?
Some people notice that when they are extremely sedentary and then they go to being moderately active, they reduce their calorie intake and they engage in less hedonic eating.
And so if you're sedentary, what that means is you're a lazy piece of shit. You're not doing any cardio. You just play video games all the time. You don't give a shit about your health. And if you start doing cardio, not only is the cardio going to help you burn more calories, it's going to help you to not want to eat as much. You not only benefit mentally and physically, also you burn more calories, but it also regulates your appetite, makes it more under control. For example, a guy like Brantley, who's 575 pounds, once he starts exercising, he's not as hungry. He's able to more readily adapt to his hunger cues. He can understand when he's hungry or not and just not simply binge eat and be out of control.
Eating gets more closely coupled to their actual physiological energy needs rather than just the hedonic reward of something that tastes good.
And so it's not just about the dopamine, the pleasure of putting that piece of cake and that ice cream in your mouth. You more so eat because you need to. Energy becomes fuel. You stop having that coveted relationship with food. Remember, relationships were people. I don't friggin' date a banana, an apple. I date people.
I've noticed that with sleep loss as well. If you're lacking in sleep, man, Cheetos look real good. If you're well slept, you're like, I kind of want broccoli.
Oh, there's clear evidence on that.
And not only that, you know how it's important to sleep properly? If you're up all hours of the night, you're not getting proper night of sleep, ghrelin rises, your appetite gets out of control, and it's a lot harder to stick to your diet. And so what do you think exercise does? It helps you sleep. People who exercise inevitably get a better night of sleep. If you're a couch potato and you're sitting at a desk playing video games all the time versus somebody who goes out there and exercise, perhaps it's lifting weights, hiking, biking, swimming, whatever, those people have better restful nights of sleep.
Yeah, sleep restriction completely throws appetite regulation out of whack.
I love it.
And exercise also impacts sleep.
You would almost think that Coach Greg had a PhD. That I could almost be sitting at that table and having a discussion. But no, I never went to school. I have no education about this whatsoever. I'm just a drama queen.
For the average person, if you marginally increase their physical activity, there's not a predictable effect on increasing their appetite in a way that you're like, yep, you're going to want to eat more food.
And so what Mike is saying is on average, when people add in more exercise, they don't just eat back all those calories. That is what I hear all the time. People saying, what's the point of eating? If I go out and do, for example, 500 calories of cardio, I'm just going to eat 500 more. Or perhaps there's a compensatory effect. My NEAT, my non-exercise activity thermogenesis, it's going to go down. So if I go and jog for 45 minutes and I burn off 500 calories, my body is just going to save all that extra energy for the rest of the day. I'll sit more relaxed. I won't bob my head as much. My BMR, perhaps that will go down. Somehow my body will find a way to negate all those calories that I'd burn. And so if I exercise off 500 calories more, my body will find a way to burn off 500 calories less.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, the effect seems to be nonlinear.
Of course it's not linear. Think of it, if you go and burn off 1,000 extra calories, this is a lot. Perhaps you'll compensate by 30%. You'll eat back 300 calories more. But if you are already in the Tour de France and you're already at 5% body fat, and you're already burning off 2,000 calories a day, and you burn off 1,000 more, 3,000, your body has to eat all that back. The extra 1,000 calories that you're burning off, if you're a Tour de France rider, you're going to eat all 1,000 of those calories. And why? Because you're already at 5% body fat. You can't stand to lose any more. And so your body is going to release more ghrelin. It's going to make you hungrier. And so no matter how much cardio you add, you're not going to burn off any more body fat. You're at its minimum. But for everyone else, that's every freaking one of you, normal people with normal percentages of body fat. If you exercise more, if you do more cardio, you're going to burn off more body fat and it will be easier to get lean.
But then when you start to go from like moderate to super active, we see that because you've recoupled your appetite to your actual energy needs, then it just kind of boop.
And so what they just then described is exactly the scenario they explained. If you're already very active and you add in more cardio, your body just can't keep getting leaner. But I think everyone already knew this. Let's put our thinking caps on. If you have a BMI of 42 or 38% body fat like Brantley G, and you add in more cardio, it's going to make you get a lot leaner. But if you're the Mr. Olympia bodybuilder, Chris Bumstead, and you're at 4% body fat, and you start adding in 5 hours of cardio a day, does it going to help him to get leaner? He's already at 4%. That's the lowest he can go. He can't just keep getting leaner. Unless he's, of course, a black natural athlete like Ronnie Coleman, perhaps he get down to negative 0.33% body fat.
0.33 was dipped underwater.
But once you're at negative 0.33% body fat, can you actually keep getting leaner? I don't think so, and I think everyone knows this. And so the more fat you have to lose, the more fat you can lose.
But when it comes to actually inducing weight loss, the decision to just add more exercise to accomplish that is usually extremely inefficient.
Inefficient, that is a very debatable term. Yeah, it takes a lot of time. It's not all that efficient. Think of it. To lose 1 pound of body fat, you need to burn off 3,500 calories. And so let's say you burn off an extra 500 calories through cardio per day. You're only gonna lose 1 pound of fat a week. It's going to be 52 pounds in a year. And so it doesn't sound all that efficient. It takes you an entire year to lose 52 pounds. And so, yeah, you'll lose more fat if you just don't eat. But just because you lose more weight by eating nothing, does it make it better? I certainly think most people want to eat. And so pick your poison. Would you rather eat nothing, aka eat fewer calories? Or would you rather do more cardio? Or why not do both? Circle Diet Book, it says to do both. How often do I preach doing a minimum of 150 minutes of zone 2 cardio per week? If you're completely out of shape, overweight, you can go for a walk. But if you're physically fit, perhaps go for a brisk walk up a hill, ride a bike, do some swimming, hike, challenge yourself just a little bit.
Our understanding is that for optimal human health, having at least a moderate level of physical activity is really critical.
Does that sound like they're preaching don't exercise, don't do cardio, that you should just, for example, sit around, perhaps like Larry Wheels' coach? I don't think so. It sounds like from what they're saying is there's huge benefits to doing moderate to high levels of cardio. Certainly not what the title indicates, which is adding in more cardio won't make you leaner. Most people are sedentary. And so for most people, would adding more cardio make them leaner? Yes. And so clearly, in my estimation, this is just a clickbait title. But you hate Coach Greg if he ever made this title.
The decision to just add more exercise to accomplish that is usually extremely inefficient, and the more extreme you go with it, the more inefficient it becomes.
But he hasn't defined efficiency or inefficiency. He's just saying it's more inefficient. Still works. It's still going to make you leaner. And so despite the fact that, for example, 500 extra calories of cardio done per day is going to only lose 52 pounds in a year, it still works. It's still going to get you there. Brentley G has lost 20 pounds the last 4 months. He does cardio. Should the suggestion be to Brentley G to not add in more cardio? If Brentley G added in more cardio, do you think it would make him leaner or fatter? Pick one.
We view exercise as a health tool, or I do. I view exercise as a health tool, and I view diet as a weight loss tool. And I try to keep those somewhat distinct.
Is he right? Is he wrong? Well, let's see. 95% of diets fail. And so I'm not saying that you can't lose weight through diet. I'm saying that most people can't stick to a diet. And so just because the research says that you could perhaps lose more weight by controlling your diet than you could from doing moderate amounts of cardio, doesn't mean that in a real world that that's going to work. And as sad as it is to say, less than or fewer than 100,000 people have bought my cookbook, have been using my diet specifically. And the reason this is sad is because far more people could be losing weight if they were to choose my diet. The recipes that are lower in calories, higher in protein, higher in fiber, help people to stay full. You can eat all your favorite delicious meals, but it's made fewer in calories. And so you get to literally make your cake and eat it too. Code Greg, 15% off. Click the link in the description.
Exercise will help set like on your burner on the stove. If you set it to simmer, that really helps.
And so in Mike's analogy, if you turn the burner on simmer, it's going to help you to lose a lot of weight. You don't want to turn it off. But if you turn it up too high, it's not going to help you all that much. But consider this. Let's consider walking as being on the simmer, running being on maximum, hit cardio, for example, and off being, well, you're not doing anything. The longer it's on simmer, the more calories you're going to burn. And by that, I mean, the more walking you're doing, the more calories you're burning. And so if it really helps to have it on simmer and to burn more calories at a slower pace, would it not help to do a lot of that? Would it not help you to be leaner if you, for example, walk for 3 hours versus walking for 1? Just think about that. The longer you're burning body fat, the more it's going to help you to get leaner.
If you go to super high, you just get into more problems than solutions at that point. So
I'm not going to argue. If you're always going to your max, sprinting all the time, overtraining, it's not good. But can't we slowly burn calories through physical activity and movement for longer periods of time? And will that not help us to get leaner?
Only in reference to averages in America, moderate to moderate high.
Yeah.
8, 10, 12,000 steps a day. Rock on, man. Everyone who's trying to lose weight should be targeting something like that numbers.
And so he says 8 to 12,000 steps a day, that is considered moderate. And considering it takes about an hour to get in 6,000 steps, that's about 2 hours of walking a day. And so what Mike is essentially saying is that if the average person were to go and do 1 to 2 hours of walking a day, it's going to help them to get leaner. And what I'm further adding to this is if they up that even more, it would only help them that much more. And so you can choose to believe who you want to believe. You can believe that 8 to 12,000 steps, that's the maximum that you might want to do, and that any more steps is not going to help you to get leaner. Or you can believe me. If you were walking 12,000 steps a day and you upped it to 15,000 steps, do you think it would help you to get leaner? I'm telling you it would. Now, if you're already at 4% body fat like Chris Bumstead at the Mr. Olympia, or if you're already a Tour de France rider and you just finished a 6-hour bike ride, I wouldn't tell you to go for 15,000 steps. But for most people on this earth, perhaps doing, 150 minutes of cardio a week, do you not think that doubling that would help them to lose weight? Of course it would.
But if someone's like, what if I can do 20,000? Like, dope, if that's your vibe, amazing.
And so for the person doing 20,000 steps, Mike says, hey, that passes the vibe check. That's dope. Go for it. It's going to help them to lose more weight.
I do find weight loss to be more manageable, easier, and more enjoyable when I do have, like you said, at least a moderate to moderate high level of activity.
And so notice how Eric Trexler just agreed with Mike. He says, you know what? I've been sedentary, I've been active, and when I have moderate to moderately high levels of cardio, I find it easier to be lean. The title says, adding more cardio won't make you leaner. He just said, when I was more active, it helped me to be leaner. Was this an oxymoron, or did they purposely title this video to get Coach Greg riled up?
It's really important from my perspective to get people out of the idea exercise is a tool you leverage to increase total daily expenditure to induce weight loss.
All Eric Drexler is trying to do is he doesn't want people to think about doing cardio just to burn off calories. It's like, I don't like them thinking that, even though it's true, even though doing more cardio does in fact help you to get leaner and it does help you to burn off more calories. I don't want them to think that. Well, think whatever you want as long as you're doing the freaking cardio.
I think viewing it as a supplementary thing that can make weight loss more manageable, more tolerable, and is also just good for you.
I don't care what you think about it as long as you're doing it. I don't care how I motivate you. If I call you a fat, lazy piece of shit and that motivates you, so be it. If your doctor has to say you're going to die unless you lose several hundred pounds, then by all means, let the doctor tell you you're going to die. We sugarcoat everything and we pretend people are 10s when they're 400 pounds. We need to be honest. Some people need to hear the brutal truth. If your BMI is above 40, it's not good. And you can love your body all you like, but what you should do is love it enough to want to lose some weight. Because if you're 400, 500, 600 pounds, you're not living all that long.
You want to be healthy and well and lean and strong, exercise and high levels of physical activity, moderate high, sort of non-negotiables in the modern landscape.
What percentage of Americans do you think have moderate to high levels of physical activity? Not many. A lot less than you think. Most people aren't even getting the minimum. 150 minutes of moderately intense zone 2 cardio per week. Most people don't get the minimum.
But if you want to meaningfully lose lots of weight, you gotta look at the diet side to crank that.
And so what do I say? What are my 2 messages? I say, go for a walk and put the fork down. And what does that represent? It represents, of course, doing cardio and watching your diet. But I'm a bad YouTuber, just a drama queen. I don't know anything about actually losing weight.
When they decide that they're going to engage in weight loss, people start out by putting themselves directly in hard mode.
And so what are they suggesting? They suggest that you train harder than last time, that you just don't go crazy on day 1. And what does that mean? Progressive overload. And so people say, hey, I want to lose weight. And they decide, I'm running a marathon. Well, take your time. Start with 150 minutes of walking a week. And then after that, add more, perhaps walk faster, and so on. People, they tend to bite off more than they can chew. They get really excited, usually in the new year, and then very quickly, that enthusiasm, it wears off when their body's sore and they're overtrained. And so better than that, it's all about being consistent. Keep doing it week after week, month after month, year after year. Now, if you're wanting to make cardio easier, look no further than GO2 max. This improves your cardio. It's been shown in research. People can walk faster, they can walk further, they have more energy. And so imagine if you're able to go for that walk or perhaps that jog, bike ride, swim lesson. And after you're done, you still have energy. You feel good. You're going to be able to burn far more calories. And so whether you're young or old, if your goal is to improve your cardio, to become faster than last time, or to lose weight, strongly suggest GO2 Max. Code Greg, 15% off. Click the link in the description.
People are overeating and are substantially less active than we were in our ancestral environment. That seems to pass almost like some kind of deep vibe check.
Exactly. That passes the vibe check. We don't move around as much as we used to, and food is very readily available. Highly palatable foods, high in sugar, high in fat, very easy to overeat in calories. So why do you think we're fat?
When people try to increase their energy expenditure by 100 calories per day, their actual total daily energy expenditure goes up by only 70% of what we'd expect. So a 30% compensation.
No matter how much of the compensatory effect you have, no matter what you've heard, they've literally just said, if you add in 100 calories of cardio, you're going to compensate by about 30%. It's not all of it. It's not 100%, and in many of my videos, I've said it's by 50%. And so if you burn off perhaps an extra 500 calories, your body's going to want you to eat 250 more. They are saying it's 30%. That would only be 150 calories. I'm saying let's go with 250. And so no matter who you listen to, you're still at a net positive. Doing more cardio, it's going to help you to get leaner.
As you crank up to 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 800 extra calories, that's not 30% anymore. That changes, doesn't it?
The more that you push, the more compensation that occurs.
Well, obviously, the more that you push, the more compensation occurs. If you burn off 10,000 calories, you're probably going to eat a lot more. But would it even be possible? Do you really think they've got a study? They took 100 people and they did a study and they said, let's do the eat 10,000, burn 10,000 calorie challenge. And so in 24 hours, you have to burn off 10,000 calories and eat 10,000 calories. Do you know what percentage would be able to do it? Almost none. Most people, even the advanced level athletes, have a very difficult time eating 10,000 calories, even though they just burnt off 10,000 calories. And so if you do enough cardio, by definition, you could out-exercise a bad diet.
If we look at folks who are going to do more exercise and just adequately replace all those calories with their dietary intake, they probably won't compensate that much at all.
And so all you need to know is this: the more cardio you do, the more calories you're going to burn, and the more it's going to help you to get leaner. I'm not saying everyone needs to go out and do 10 hours of cardio. But what I am saying is by adding in more cardio, it helps you to get leaner. That is what this video is about. And I do believe if you watch this video to its entirety, you should agree with me. If you don't, I tried my best. And if you're looking for extra help, of course, check out GO2 Max, the cookbooks, and the Circle Diet Book. If you have no money, get over to my website and get the free diet and training program. Remember, it's free. Did I mention it's free? It's close to 50 pages. Various diets from 1,500, 2,000, 2,500, and 3,000 calories. And so no matter who you are, you can get the best diet for you. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the algorithm. Please like the video if you liked it. Watch one of those two bloops. And don't forget the Harder Than Last Time clothing line, training books, coaching plans by me and my team. And until next time, I am out.